define about it through the head of the deer or Mrigasira, from which this nakshatra gets its name. The deer is a very inquisitive animal and is throughout its life in search of the elusive smell that unknowingly it itself emanates but is never able to find. There is a strong sense of quest, of searching in this animal, and being a very inquisitive animal, this animal, the deer, is always on a lookout, always on a search for this. Something can be many things. This is also a nakshatra of discovery, but it is majorly a nakshatra of a spiritual quest, a quest for the unknown. The longing to find the unknown is seen to be very, very strong in this nakshatra. Let me take up the example charts through which we will be able to validify our point. Mrigasira Nakshatra Stutra. It states that if any planet ascendant is in Mrigasira Nakshatra, then that aspect of the planet shows a desire to move towards spirituality. So, one of the examples that I take up now is that of Lord ALFRED Tennyson. Lord ALFRED Tennyson was a poet during the time of Queen Victoria and a very famous poet at that. He was said to be the British laureate of England and Ireland. A very unassuming personality. During his last years, he has said to, on record, say that it is the churches who've killed Jesus Christ. His idea of spirituality was very definite, was very defined, and very different from that of the church. He believed, or Christianity. He believed in spirituality at a very deep level. However, he defied religious convictions. He believed in pandeism and something that is very different from what the church and other religions propagate. We will have to look into his chart and his combination. Venus, which is in Gemini, in Mrigasira, and the ascendant again in Gemini, in Mrigasira, both are influenced strongly by this spiritualism, or rather, they are the ones which impart the spiritual nature to Lord ALFRED Tennyson. Venus is his fifth lord of intelligence and 12th lord of occult. Venus is also the fifth lord of application of power, of the connect to this deity, to the spiritual world, and it is also the 12th lord of supernatural, 12th lord of spirituality. So it is placed in the Lagna, and Lagna too is in Mrigasira. These two together give him very unassuming, unorthodox view of religion. So the second example that we come across is that of Arthur Conan Doyle. Conan Doyle, the very famous creator of Sherlock Holmes, Elementary, my dear Watson, has his ability to research, to relentlessly go after something given to him by the Mrigasira Nakshatra. He has the ability to move deep down into subjects. That is why being a criminal writer or writer of criminal novels, writer of detective novels proved so beneficial for him. Let us see the combinations that impart spirituality to him. Ascendant in Mrigasira, Mars, the 7th lord of public platform and the 12th lord of the supernatural occult, is also in Mrigasira, and Jupiter, which is the lord of the 8th house of occult, research, search, mysticism, and more such things, and the 11th lord of contacts, 11th lord of apprehensions, 11th lord of achievements, all there in Mrigasira, in the 2nd house with Jupiter, for Jupiter. Well, 2nd house of wealth, 2nd house of education, and 2nd house of professional qualification. Mars is also in the Lagna, imparting him the energy to do so. Mars is also ink, giving him the ability to write it all. Well, he did write about his spiritualism to a magazine and stated his psychic vision that changed him. He also believed that there was life after that and spirits. He believed so because of his experiences with the wartime as a medical professional. And this led him to have a very strong quest to find and define spirituality. And people say it was after his son passed away. No, it got more intensified after his son passed away, but not began during it. He was always a very spiritual man. The next example is Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone rose to phenomenal heights with his movie Rocky. However, he began it with very little in his pockets, but only conviction, faith, and integrity. He has always maintained that it was his faith and his Catholic upbringing which led him to the place that he is today. Rahu is in the sixth house of destiny. It is in the sixth house of litigations and fights. Karaka for fights and litigations too. Who knew it would turn him into such a huge star? Rahu is also the Karaka of movies. It is through his movies that he's proved his conviction. He has been able to stand tall on his ground. Lord of Rahu sitting in the ninth house of religion, sitting in the ninth house of truth and spirituality. Also, it's sitting in the sign of Leo, which is known to be the sign of the cinema and entertainment. Sylvester Stallone has at many places categorically stated that his Catholic upbringing and his ability to connect with the Lord above and to leave everything on the Lord above has at times taken a lot of burden off his shoulder. And when he moved away from the path, he found difficulty and resistance. So this is Rahu in Mrigasira getting Sylvester Stallone his heart's desire, and at the same time giving him a very strong spiritual connection. As we move on to William Butler Yeats, we see that his sun is placed in the Mrigasira Nakshatra. It is the Atmakaraka and it is also the spirituality. Sitting in the sixth house of destiny and prarabdha, it is also the eighth lord of occult and mysticism and research. It is a very well-known fact that Yeats was a very well-known and a famous literary figure of the 20th century. What is a lesser-known fact is that it is said about him, in his own words, he has confessed that had it not been his involvement with occultism, with mysticism, with his quest of spirituality, he would not be where he is today. Well, the soul has a very strong connection in his chart with spirituality, sun being the Karaka, Atma Karaka, as well as the Karaka for soul, gives him the intense desire to learn, to understand mysticism, because it is also the eighth lord, the lord that moves into hidden areas to find out what is everything about. So this brings us to the end of Mrigasira's dictum, that is the very strong urge quest for spirituality. If you have liked it, please share this video and please leave your comments behind. We will be happy to know that they are appealing to you. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.